Good morning. I am Giulio Raffaele. I am a research manager at IDC Retail Insights, and I lead our wide research program on retail innovation strategies. And today, I will be sharing with you IDC point of view on how local small retail companies can address the opportunity of retail digital commerce. Well, in order to address this topic, the first thing that we need to look at is how small retail companies are going to execute business model innovation over the next 3 years. So, as we see, it is very interesting that the top 3 aspects that they are going to address, the top 3 areas of their businesses that they are going to address is, first of all, the partner network. And they specifically, for half of retailers, are going to do that by integrating what we call customer lifestyle data across the industry. So collaborating with partners on customer data is fundamental for small companies in order to thrive. Then they look at the customer experience aspect. And again, here, it is still about customer data and the ability to leverage artificial intelligence and machine learning analytics to deliver what we will see it is the real-time contextual customer experience. Third, we see that they pose a lot of attention on the cost structure, so the optimization of costs. And the top aspect which they are going to pose their attention, that they're going to address in this area, is the reduction of supply chain and sourcing inefficiencies. And this is tightly related, of course, also to the partner network aspect. And last but not least, of course, we have also the distribution model that for a small retail company is probably one of the most important aspects to consider. And again, here the partner network comes into play, and as 35% of retailers are going to leverage the partner ecosystem to use new fulfillment strategies that probably so far they haven't been able to do by themselves. Now, starting from this business model innovation scenario, we need to look at the revenue models that they believe they will be using over the next 3 years. And well, it is important to understand that for small retail companies, over the next 3 years, e-commerce will be the top revenue source. So this is fundamental to understand because e-commerce, it's not going to be a standalone asset in this case, because what is really happening is that for small retail companies, new store types are going to be tightly integrated to e-commerce, as the store will remain a top revenue source. It's just in second position compared to e-commerce in small retail companies' plans. And this is fundamental because in local commerce, it's the only way to improve store traffic and conversion rates and other metrics such as, for example, the average order value. And well, these 2 assets don't come alone because then we have a 37% of small retail companies that believe over the next 3 years, generalist and specialty marketplaces will be an important revenue source for their companies. And we still see how this type of asset is tightly related to e-commerce and to new store types, because the operations related to marketplaces have to be tightly integrated to the operations of e-commerce and of the store. Now, having said this, of course, in order to execute on this vision, on these plans for the business model and for revenue model, actually there are some challenges. And well, small retail companies are finding as top 3 challenges to address the aspect of customer experience. First of all, the definition of new loyalty strategies. This is because they are aware of the fact that loyalty should completely change its aspect, shouldn't be any more transactional, and should be totally revised in the way in which it is designed and delivered to customers. Well, then this is tightly related to the fact that you can define new loyalty strategies if you don't have customer-centric culture in your company. And this is a burden that many small retail companies still bring with them from legacy cultures. And of course, another aspect that is tightly related to this is the capability to prioritize what we call the customer journey use cases. And well, these 3 key challenges are then related to another set of challenges that are as well important. That is, first of all, small retail companies' capabilities to align advertising and customer experience strategies. Then the capability to gather and select useful data from customers, and to consent, to collect the customer consent to use those data that they have gathered, and then to execute omnichannel engagement by leveraging those data. So the scenario is really complex regarding the challenges that retailers need to address. And one of the key aspects that retailers should, small retail companies should look at and prioritize to address, well, it is what we call the customer journey model. We see that the majority of small retail companies are still using customer journey model that is based on historic customer data, and that substantially is updated every 6 months or even 1 year time. And we are speaking about static segments, dynamic segments, and dynamic personas. Well, the real differentiation opportunity for retailers lies into leapfrogging for this type of models to what we call real-time contextual customer journey models that leverage, at the same time, historic batch data from customers and real-time data gathered from the context of the customer. By unifying these data sources, retailers can actually deliver a real personalized customer experiences. This is a complex journey, as we have said. And in order to do this, it is fundamental that retailers innovate by leveraging what we call a retail commerce platform. A retail commerce platform is substantially cloud architecture that allows retailers to leverage a set of hybrid and different capabilities sourced from many different vendors that are providing capabilities for example, customer experience services, commerce services, order fulfillment services, and content optimization services. All of them orchestrated by artificial intelligence and machine learning analytics foundations. And of course, what should be considered for the implementation of this type of platform is the fact that, as we have said, it should be implemented over a hybrid multi-cloud architecture. And small retail companies really need to accelerate their efforts in implementation of RCPs. We have 31% of companies that are actually currently implementing this type of platform. But the point is that there is a major portion of retailers that still have to work on this type of project. And it is essential to start working on it as soon as possible, because this is where the opportunity to thrive in the future lies. And well, among these retailers that are implementing it, we have more or less 1/3 that is actually focusing on migrating their core services to software as a service models. So we see how also here there is still a long way to go to a more mature approach. And we have 1/4 of retailers that is actually prioritizing the implementation of artificial intelligence and machine learning analytics foundations. Well, this is a good start, but there is still a lot to do in this sense. And again, retailers, small retail companies need to accelerate on this aspect. Of course, implementing this kind of platform means then leveraging a number of enabling capabilities. So we speak about, for example, retailers implementing solutions for leveraging the store as a fulfillment center. The micro-fulfillment aspect is fundamental for small retail companies. And then we have the aspect of implementing solutions for mobility for employee productivity and for customer service. At the same time, we see how much important it is for retailers to implement cloud-based omnichannel store systems that need to be tightly integrated to the retail commerce platform capabilities. And then, last but not least, as we have mobility for employee, at the same time, we need retailers, small retail companies need to implement solutions for mobile customer experience that are the most up-to-date possible. And well, coherently with what we have seen so far regarding the importance of the store within retailers' business models and revenue models, retailers are pointing their investments at what we call a contactless store, that are substantially enabled by solutions such as the automated checkout. And this is tightly related as well to capabilities for automated drive-through order pickup, for example. And of course, there is also the aspect of reducing store size and focusing a part of stores on providing services to customers. And all of these entails a very important aspect, that is the fact that retailers are adding new roles in the store to manage new processes that are enabled by the new technologies that they are implementing, such as mobility, as we have said, or IoT, or video analytics, augmented reality, virtual realities, and any other type of analytics that they might be using over their processes. And well, in this case, of course, as we have just seen, AML capabilities are essential for small retail companies to deliver what we have seen so far. So retailers will be leveraging computer vision for automated checkout, and they will be leveraging artificial intelligence and machine learning capabilities for a number of areas across their value chain. So they will be using them for merchandise and assortment planning. They will be using them for customer experience personalization. And this is referred to what we have seen in the real-time contextual customer journey models. And also here, last but not least, they will be using them as well for order orchestration and fulfillment. And this speaks directly to their prioritization of the partner network and of the distribution model in their business models. Now, another aspect that closes our conversation today regarding small retail companies and their strategies to leverage digital commerce and the proximity opportunity regard sustainability. Sustainability is something that society is demanding more and more with pressing timelines. And small retail companies are aware of the fact that proximity digital commerce, local commerce, enabled by the combination of e-commerce, stores, and marketplaces, needs to rely on a sustainability strategy. And that's because retailers, small retail companies, identify as key drivers for sustainability strategies, for their sustainability strategies. First of all, the potential, the opportunity to increase their brand awareness through them. Then, and this is tightly related to the first one, increase customer trust. And this is because customers are asking more and more for transparent sustainability strategies from retailers. And third, the opportunity to reduce costs by executing efficient and effective sustainability strategy. So all of this leads us to 3 recommendations that we want to provide you with. And the first one is really prioritize the implementation of a hybrid multi-cloud retail commerce platform, because this is going to be the key asset to orchestrate your operations and to innovate faster. Then focus on the customer journey. Implement customer experience systems that enable your company to track, trace, and act upon individual customer journeys in real time. And last one, focus on the contactless store and e-commerce relationship. So invest your efforts in defining and executing a proximity strategy that leverages stores and micro-fulfillment centers for e-commerce through delivery and in-store pickup. And with this, we have concluded our webinar for today. Thank you very much for your attention, and please feel free to reach out if you would like to know more about IDC research.